Prince of Persia was released for Sega Genesis in 1993. The Sega CD version actually came out earlier in 1992. So, what's the difference? The Genesis game was published by Tengen, while the Sega CD game was published by Victor Musical Industries. One major difference you might notice right away is the graphical style. The Sega CD game looks a bit more cartoony, while the Genesis game looks more realistic. Another major difference are the anime-style cutscenes in the Sega CD game, and these are fully animated too. Well, that's a bit of a stretch. Only the mouths really move, so it's kinda cheating. But it does mean voiceovers, and these are just as glorious as you'd expect.
Foolish Sultan. You think you can return to Persia. But you're wrong.
Please return to your private quarters.
He didn't do anything wrong! Stop it!
Your destiny is by my side.
Father will never approve of that.
Come to me.
Don't touch me!
Ha 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 ha! Yeah!
Pure gold. And you gotta love the way they say
If he
Jafar.
sees us together and banish me along with Jaffa. Master Jaffa will explain later.
While Father has been away, Jaffa has banished the servants.
Jaffa!
Ha 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 ha!
Another major difference is the inclusion of music during gameplay. The Sega CD game has different music for the different levels. And it even changes during fights. The Genesis game, however, has no music during any level. Or any fight. But the Sega CD game is missing music when you drink a potion, so there's that. Other differences are the ability to save on Sega CD instead of a password. You can also change the speed of movement and attack on Sega CD too. You can't do that on Genesis. You can also view how quickly you got through the levels on Sega CD. And there's some differences with the controls too. On Sega CD, the jump button alone makes you jump straight up, while it doesn't do anything on Genesis unless you use the D-pad. And during combat, pressing up on Sega CD lets you defend. Not on Genesis, defend is only another trigger button. I find it easier alternating between attack and defend with two hands instead of one. It's important for those tough fights. Other than that, the games are actually very similar. The layout of every level is exactly the same. This means all the puzzles and battles are identical. The only difference is the inclusion of the extra Jafar battle in the Sega CD game, which also includes another excellent cutscene.
Impressive.
Free the princess and leave this place forever!
Ha 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 ha!
Lots of cosmetic differences, but the gameplay is almost identical. So, is it worth it? I was almost going to say no, but something did make me change my mind. And it's not just the inclusion of cutscenes or music that made me enjoy this game more. It was the changing of the game speed. Changing the game speed is really a game changer. One of the major flaws of the Genesis game is how slow and clunky the controls are. Every movement feels so incredibly labored. The Sega CD game felt like that too, until I changed the speed. After that, the game was so much more enjoyable. Even though I like the look of the Genesis game more, the Sega CD game definitely plays better. The music and cutscenes don't hurt either. The Sega CD game is pretty cheap too, so if you want an enjoyable version of Prince of Persia, definitely give the Sega CD game a go.
When the Sultan returns, everything will be alright.